What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shut Up and Work podcast. I am your wonderful host, the coach, and today I have an article from Indeed.com. And the name of the article is 5 Signs of a Toxic Work Environment. Now, what is a toxic work environment? Basically, in layman's definition, I would say it's an environment to where the employees, the bosses, and upper management treat each other like crap. And everything is disorganized, dysfunctional, and it's just causing stress to everyone in that organization, therefore turning it into a toxic workplace. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this article, and after we go through it, I'm going to give you my experiences and tell you if my experiences line up with what the article states from Indeed.com. Without further hesitation, let's jump right into it. All right, so here's the article. And before we get started, I would like to say fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm using this as educational purposes. So here we go. The 5 signs of a toxic work environment. The first one that you see, fatigue and illness. Toxic workplaces often make you feel burned out, tired, and ill due to the level of stress you're enduring. If you find yourself calling in sick, or if you're constantly feeling drained and exhausted, it may indicate that your work environment is affecting your health. Number 2, little to no enthusiasm. When you're at work, you look around your office area and determine whether anyone is truly happy or smiling. If you don't see positive conversations or employees socializing, it can equal toxicity. The lack of motivation and morale can spread to everyone in the workplace, creating an exponentially bigger problem. Number 3, the high turnover. If you begin to notice a high turnover rate at your company or within your team, it may indicate that others have picked up on your toxicity in your workplace. Poor morale, sickness, and overall lack of enthusiasm can lead to employees looking for employment opportunities elsewhere. Number 4, cliques, exclusion, and gossip. If you notice a tight group of people at work that alienates others in the workplace, it may indicate a toxic workplace. While it's normal to have work friends and acquaintances, any behavior that shows these groups acting like a clique and spreading negativity or gossip breeds toxicity. And the last but not least, stifled growth. If your company doesn't offer learning opportunities or mentorships, it may not be invested in your growth. While it's your job's responsibility to motivate you to continue learning, the lack of support can indicate a toxic workplace. This may encourage you to seek other opportunities. These are the 5 signs of a toxic work environment. Again, stated by Indeed.com. I will put this article in the description. That way you can go back and review it at your leisure. All right, let's break down this article. The first sign of a toxic environment, fatigue and illness. I remember when I had blew up to almost 230 pounds. Of course, I was feeling tired, and I started developing these small little illnesses and ailments and stuff that was preventing me to going to work. A lot of times I would just call in sick, even though it might have been just a headache, or maybe I was just very tired because the day before I worked 12 to 14 hours. a lot of these issues started developing. And part of it was because I was in a toxic environment. I felt that if I was feeling bad for that work day, I already knew that going into the office, I was going to be working around a bunch of bad, toxic people. So therefore, I just rather call in and say that I'm sick. So number one, I agree with. Now, number two, little to no enthusiasm. Well, there were times where I went into work and of course I didn't have no enthusiasm. And the reason why is because a lot of my coworkers, they were just always pissed off at the world, mad. And one of the things I used to say is, hey man, look, let's come to work, let's get our job done, and then everything should be peaches and cream. We can cruise the rest of the day. Oh no, these people were just hell bent on being angry about everything. And they will start arguments and fights, hell, with the copier, with the lady who was cleaning up the office, the lunch lady who was in there making a lunch. Anybody they could get pissed off just like they were, or to piss off somebody, they would do it. That started killing the enthusiasm of coming to work, because hell, you just think, well, why should I go to work smiling? Everybody's pissed off anyway. So therefore, it turns into clock watching. Damn, what time is it? Is it time to leave? Because I want to get out of here before I get into an argument with one of my coworkers. So number two, yes, I have experienced that one also. So let's move on to number three, which was the high turnover. Dealing with this one, you're going to have high turnover if, as the first two, what I just said, and especially with the one where you don't have any enthusiasm and everybody's pissed off in the workplace. Well, what are you going to have? People are going to be smoking that keyboard, putting their resume, applying for a different position. And guess what? I done that as well. I seen the environment that I was in. I was like, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to go try to transfer to another department or look for another job way somewhere else to get the hell away from this toxic environment. For the high turnover rate, you're going to have people coming in the door, and as soon as they get the opportunity to get the hell out, they're going to do it. So that's number three. Then number four, moving on. So the cliques, exclusion, and gossip. Now, with that one, I also state this type of thing in my book. When you have these people who are working together because they have a specific agenda that is trying to benefit them, whether they're trying to get promoted, whether they're trying to get rules changed, they will use you. Okay? These people are dangerous. So you need to avoid any cliques, gangs, crews. You need to avoid them altogether. As I was just saying, these people are looking for some type of change that's going to benefit them, not benefit everybody in the office. They may want to have a 2-hour lunch, just those people, but they want everybody else to take their 1-hour lunch and be back to work. They may want to leave early from work, but they don't want everybody else to leave early. If you get the gist of what I'm saying. And if the boss pissed them off, they're looking for a way to sabotage the boss. And a lot of times they try to use the other employees that is not in their clique. They try to use them as a pawn on the chessboard. That way, if the boss foils the plan and figure out what is going on, they will go after that one individual. In the meanwhile, the clique, the crew, and the gang, they'll sit back like, oh, we didn't know nothing about that. We don't know why Don went over there and started arguing with the boss about this or that. So these people can be very dangerous. And avoid them at all possibility. Now, the last one, stifle growth. Since I worked in a federal agency for almost 20 years, stifle growth was a very common thing. And the reason why is because we had individuals who would work until they're in the grave. And I'm trying to be nice here. These individuals would work 35, 40, 45 years and still will not retire. They have to be forced to retire. But the point I'm trying to make with this, by those individuals working so long and holding that position up, it's hard to get promoted because there's no open position. So you basically have to wait on John or Mary to either be forced out of that position or die in that position. And that has happened several times. Trust me, I have plenty of stories on that. So that's where the stifle growth comes in from my experience. But I also see it from other agencies or organizations could have stifle growth too, to where if a person is not being promoted, then hey, they're going to say, the hell with this, get on that keyboard, put that resume in and get the hell out of that workplace or job or whatever. So that can also cause toxicity because a person starts getting disgruntled that they don't have any room for growth or receiving a promotion or anything in that nature. So that can be a problem. So overall, those 5 signs that were posted in this article, I can say I experienced all 5. And I'm giving this article an A. In my eyes and from my experience, there is a lot of truth to what this article was explaining. And in conclusion, for those of you out there, if you start experiencing any of these signs, then it may be time for you to make a change. Because the longer you stay in your job and deal with that or try to struggle through it, the more it's going to affect you mentally and physically. And your health and your mental well-being is not worth being damaged because of a toxic workplace. So therefore, if you experience any of these toxic things, then you need to look for another job or possibly see if you can transfer to a different department that is less stressful and less toxic. So with that, to all my listeners out there, drop me some comments below if you experience any of these 5 signs from this article, or maybe you experience a different sign of toxicity. I would love to read that. Other than that, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you know of anybody or anyone or different people out there that needs to hear this message and is struggling on their job, then by all means, please refer them to this channel. With that being said, make it a great day and take care. Peace.